What's happening, guys? It is Nate with Play Your Court. Today I'm going to show you one tip that's going to help your volley technique. All right, guys, we are talking about the volley, specifically the forehand volley. This is a fantastic tip. If you haven't heard it, I think it's gonna help a ton, all right? This video is for Play Your Court members of all ratings. It's gonna help everyone, all right? If you don't have a rating and you wanna get one, you can check out the link below where you can get a Play Your Court rating for free. We match you up with players of the same skill level, practice, competitive match play, all the above. All right, so let's jump into today's topic. What we are talking about is horizontal shoulder abduction, okay? Very scientific to say you've got to squeeze the pectoral, all right? So let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about some things that are really important with the volley that you may know, and if so, good review, all right? We know that we have to have a continental grip, all right? We know the web of the hand has to be on top of the grip, index knuckle, heel pad, bevel 2. Really important stuff. The second thing that we want to know, review, struggling with the language today, all right, is that I want to make sure that I'm keeping the racket head up. All right, we can see the racket tip is up. And the third thing we're going to talk about is getting the outside foot behind the ball. Okay, so this is where I'm in a proper volley position. So what happens next is where we see a lot of mistakes. Maybe you know all this stuff, but what ends up happening is that your volleys, you're using your elbow and forearm to swing across. Maybe you're actually almost going into pronation where you're turning and putting the racket down. This happens when we're trying to create pace, right? Doesn't work, we end up hitting the ball in the net. Or maybe we're slicing too much, right? We're actually turning the palm up and we're cutting the ball too much. We hear that the volleying's like catching, and it is, because you're not moving the racket a great deal. But what happens with this horizontal shoulder abduction is that I'm taking the racket head up, and I'm pulling the racket across. So I'm going from the outside to the inside. When we say squeeze the pec, you're gonna actually feel that engagement. All right? We know what that feels like. You're gonna see the bodybuilders. I wanna make sure that arm is coming in and that pectoral is flexing, okay? And that's gonna give me that nice crisp volley, right? When I'm coming across. I'm working through it and it's going this way. That is the movement of the volley. And I think a lot of us struggle with that, right? We're too often trying to, volley out and the arm is straightening too early. I want to make sure, especially on this cross-court volleys, that I'm getting into that abduction. Even if I'm going down the line, that is just the angle of my hips. I'm here and I'm volleying out to my target, but there's still that shoulder abduction that is occurring. All right, let's take a look at this in slow-mo, and you can see this happening. Make sure that you apply it. It's going to help your volleys a ton. All right, guys, so for volley technique, in order to clean it up, remember we want to squeeze that pectoral of the chest, right, on the forehand volley. Very simply put, it's outside, inside. As the racket starts from the outside of the body, I want to make sure that the volley moves, the racket moves across to the inside of my body. That is causing that horizontal shoulder abduction where we're squeezing the pec, all right? And this is going to help give us that feel that when we talk about catching the volley, we know the racket should be moving, but how much it should be moving is illustrated, all right? Outside to inside. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you never want to miss a Play Your Court video, hit that subscribe button. And if you think this would help a buddy, be sure to share it. Helps the business a ton. We're gonna leave the Net Mastery course down below. Make sure you check out the links. It's gonna be totally free. It's all yours just for checking out the Play Your Court membership. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.